Welcome back to D-Dub. Today on the channel we are going to be talking about my number one accessory for the Nintendo Switch. So if you are new to this channel and you like what you see, feel free to subscribe, hit the like button. When the Nintendo Switch first came out, everybody was super psyched about it, including me. And one of the biggest things that was a problem was that the Pro Controller was $80. Now, there wasn't too much wrong with the standard Joy-Cons that came out of the box, except for the fact that they were missing the D-pad, which is very, very important. And we couldn't figure out for the life of us why Nintendo would omit the classic D-pad that they are known for. Going back all the way to 1985, when the NES first came out, Nintendo is the creator of the classic D-pad. From the NES to the Super Nintendo, to the Nintendo 64, to the GameCube, Wii U, they've all had great D-pads in one form or another, out of the box at least. Maybe not so much the GameCube controller, as it had this tiny D-pad. Even then, that was the dawn of the real leap into 3D at the time, so we weren't using too much of the D-pad, and even now, it feels small, but my hands aren't super big, so I could see how that would be a problem for some people, and even then, this is a third-party controller, and this D-pad feels a lot better than the one on the real controller, which I do have. But even then, that mini D-pad for the GameCube controller has now since been redesigned by third parties to compete with current gen hardware and to compete with current gen controls in new 3D titles that we have. So one of the biggest problems, like I said, was these little buttons. You know, we get it, you put the rail on, and this is a fully functional two-player controller. But when was Nintendo going to fix that? They have still, after 2 years of the Switch being out, they have not fixed it. So we were waiting for Nintendo to put out a left-hand Joy-Con complete with a D-pad, as seen here, as not seen here. We were waiting for Nintendo to resolve the issue, and it did not happen, like a politician. So we were waiting for Nintendo and come out with a D-pad of their own on their own Joy-Con controllers, and they didn't do it. So my number one accessory for the Nintendo Switch is the Hori D-pad controller, left side Joy-Con, for handheld mode only. And it's by Hori, and I just want to say that it is my most important accessory for the Nintendo Switch, and I'm going to tell you why. So when I first got my hands on the Switch, I barely used it in handheld mode. It was mostly just the two Joy-Cons out and in the grip, like normal, and I gotta say that 99% of the time, I would not use the D-pad, mostly for all these 3D games. It just would really make no sense. Now, I've seen some people play things like Celeste with these buttons, and I just can't do it. I just can't do it. There's no way. So for 99.7% of the time, I have never ever used these buttons for any sort of control on any game on the Nintendo Switch. So when I first saw this great device, I thought, wow, that's amazing. You know, Nintendo is finally going to come out and have a D-pad, and we find that it's not by Nintendo. So I was pretty skeptical about how good it was actually going to be and what the price would be. And when it first came out, it was $24.99. I got my hands on it early. It was supposed to ship out like October 2nd or 3rd, and it was out a week before then. So I rushed to Target, and I reluctantly got my hands on it. And I got to say that, yes, it's definitely the number one accessory for me on the Nintendo Switch, because when I first got the Switch, I really didn't play in handheld mode. It was mostly on the big screen with the detached controllers and the grip. And for at least 95% of the time, it was just on the TV, always in the dock, and I never took it out. But once I actually got my hands on this, now I just leave it on here permanently, and anytime it goes in the dock, I'm using a Pro controller. So 95% of the time, when I'm playing it on the big TV, this is in the dock with this on it, and then anytime I take it out, I'm just playing with this, and I love it. And this D-pad, Hori nailed it. They did a great job, and it really is a great D-pad. It's definitely on par with what Nintendo's quality would be. They've put their seal of approval on it, which these days doesn't mean that much for a few different things. And Hori's done a great job on this. This is a great controller, and I gotta say that I'm just making a video on it now, but I've had this thing since September. And it's always on my Nintendo Switch. Now, the main problem with it, of course, is that you can't use it in anything other than handheld mode. So that means on the big TV, you can't use it. In tabletop, you can't use it. But for me, that's not a problem. because these days I'm playing like 75% in handheld mode and only maybe 25% actually in the dock. But since I started YouTube, I basically have my dock up here in my film room, and even though this is a game room, I pretty much just use my TV for my computer. So very often I am just using this in handheld mode when I'm not in here. So for that, the Hori D-pad has been stupendous. I love it. And even though Nintendo couldn't give us a great D-pad, Hori definitely delivered on that. So that is the reason that this is my number 1 top accessory for the Nintendo Switch. So I have this Zelda one here, and when making this video, I was trying to find the box for it, and I thought that this was it, because I had bought a second one, and it's the Pikachu one. I did have the Pikachu one, but I sold it, so I have 2 of these here. And this box is empty, and like I said, I couldn't find the Zelda box. I think it's around somewhere, but I couldn't find it, so I have one here, complete in box, unopened, and what am I going to do with it? Because it is a thanks to you, I'm going to give you guys a chance to win this. Because I think it's that great of a D-pad, and I want you guys to agree with me. So in the next couple weeks, I'm going to be announcing how I'm going to actually do this giveaway. But for now, if you'd like a chance to win the Hori D-pad controller, handheld mode only, for Nintendo Switch, third-party controller, made by Hori, not by Nintendo, but still a great D-pad, even though it doesn't work in handheld mode, and it doesn't actually talk to the Switch, and you can't actually use it in the dock or tabletop mode, and it has no battery or NFC controller, but it's still a great D-pad. Follow me in the Twitter downstairs. It'll be there. Click on it. Follow me on Twitter. And in the next couple weeks, I'm going to let you know how I'm going to go about actually doing this giveaway. So I just wanted to share what my number 1 accessory is on the Nintendo Switch. It's a great system, and this is a great product. So I'm definitely looking forward to my first giveaway here on YouTube, and I'm very excited to see which one of you wins and what you think of it if you don't have one or haven't used it before. Either way. So if you enjoyed this video, if you want a chance to win, you don't have to subscribe for a chance to win, but if you like the video and you want to win, why not subscribe anyway? And for the rest of you out there, if you like the video, subscribe, hit the like button if you like the video, click the bell. We have E3 coming up in just a week and a couple days here, so I'm going to be live streaming. I'm going to be doing a bunch of videos regarding that. Like I said, just follow me on Twitter and you will know when I go live. Hit the bell, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and I will see you guys in another video.